Hello, and welcome to another edition of Journey to Stewardship. I'm your host, the Reverend Doctor, and tonight is the last in this segment of Friday Night Series. The last in this segment of Journey to Stewardship. And for those of you that have been around for all of them, I thank you very much for tuning in. We will begin another series, still Friday Night Series, but we will begin another topic next week. But tonight we're going to end this segment on Journey to Stewardship, but we're still going to be good stewards. It's just that we're going to shift the focus a little bit. So this being the last installment in this segment, it's fitting that we use, that we understand that being a good steward doesn't always mean giving money to the church. And I know some people say, well, I don't want to give money to the church, the pastor do this, does that, whatever. But now I'm going to give you some scripture that don't call for you to have money. It don't call for you to have money to be a good steward. So this evening, I keep saying this morning, but this evening, I got some scripture for you that will let you know that God will show you other ways of giving worthy of your support. He will show you other opportunities for you to be a good steward, and it don't have to involve money or giving money to the church. And I know a lot of y'all are glad to hear this, and you want to know why I wait to the end. Well, this is to remind you that it doesn't always take money to be a good steward. There could be other things. So I'm going through the scriptures tonight. And I'm reading from the King James Version tonight. The first scripture is James chapter 1, verse 27. James chapter 1, verse 27. It says, pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. To visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction. Doesn't take any money to do that. To visit, the fatherless. To go visit the widows. Take them something. It doesn't take, sometimes it just takes a kind word to show that you care. Doesn't take money. And he said, and what James says, pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep yourself unspotted from the world. Don't require money to do that. Don't require money to do that. Okay, next one. Job. Book of Job. Job chapter 29, 12 and 13. Job 29, 12 and 13. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him, the blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. That means that he did something without money. He just delivered the poor. He helped the poor. Sometimes the poor don't need money. They just might need some food, a warm coat, some shoes, something that you already got. So it don't take money for God to work in your life. It doesn't take money. The next one, Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10, verse 42. And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. He said, just give him a cup of water. You don't take no money for that. Just give them a cup of water if they're thirsty. You don't take money. God will give you other opportunities. Other opportunities, whether you're supposed, other opportunities that God show you. Other opportunities. Okay, Hebrews chapter 13. Hebrews chapter 13, starting at verse 1. And man asked his wife to fix him some coffee, and she said no. So he asked her, why? She said, because in the Bible it says Hebrews, not Shebrews. I know, I always do that little joke when I do the book of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 13, starting at verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Remember them that are in bonds, as bonds with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourselves also in the body. Now they say they don't take no money. Entertain strangers. Could be an angel. And plenty of people have entertained angels unawares. And they did them wrong. So, and he said, remember those that are in prison. Feel for them just as if you were in prison with them. See, it don't take no money for that. And those that are in adverse situations, feel for them as if you were them. It don't take money for that. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be a good steward. Philippians chapter 4, verse 14. Philippians chapter 4, verse 14. Notwithstanding, ye have well done, that ye did communicate with my affliction. Now, Paul is saying to the church at Philippi that y'all did good, that y'all stayed in communication with me. That y'all stayed in communication with me while I was afflicted. The church at Philippi. To see, Paul said, just the fact that you all did not abandon me while I was in prison. See, it didn't take no money for that. It didn't take no money. Acts 28 and 10. Acts 28, verse 10. Who also honors us with many honors. And when we departed, they laded us with such things as were necessary. In other words, when they were getting ready to leave, they gave them gifts, food and clothes and things. It could have been some money, but things that were necessary. See, a lot of times money is not necessary. Sometimes it's other than money. Sometimes it's other than money. And God will look on that with the same weight as if you had given some money. Now you're working as a good steward. And the last scripture is Luke chapter 14, verse 13 and 14. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee. For thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. And what he said is that when you throw a party, call the people, when you throw on a feast, the hungry and the maimed, the lame and the blind, help somebody that can't pay you back. Not necessarily money. See, when you hold a feast, you bring them in to eat. Not to give them money, but to give them food and rest and shoes and clothes and, coat when it's cold. Those things. See, money, you can't help nobody when they're cold. Money can't help nobody when they're hungry now. Give them something to eat. So when we, as good stewards, we've got to remember that it's not always money. That God will give us other opportunities. So you say, well, I don't want to give no money to the church. Well, God's going to give you other opportunities. He's going to send people your way that you can help, that only you can help. Nobody else can help them. And it doesn't take money. You can't throw money at everything. Money don't solve all the problems. A child without shoes don't need money. They need shoes. A hungry family don't need money. They need food. So sometimes it don't take money, because God's going to give you opportunities. God's going to give you opportunities to help somebody. And it don't take money. So being a good steward doesn't necessarily take money. Now I'm just here to remind you that God is going to give you other opportunities other than money. So if you're worried about money, you miss tomorrow. If you're worried about giving money to the church, which is what you should do because that's what God said, but God's going to give you other things to do. Other ways to meet his people. Other ways to take care of his people. And it's not going to involve money. All of the scriptures I read tonight did not involve money. It involved your kind heart. It involved your time. Going by and seeing the fatherless and talking to the widows and remembering the people in prison and helping people when they need help, along the way. That's what it is. That's what's being a good steward. Money is just a part of it. Money is just a part. God's going to give you other opportunities along the way. And remember that. And remember that. And as I said earlier, this is the last segment in this series. Thank you all for tuning in to Journey to Stewardship. I hope it's been helpful. It has been very eye-opening and rewarding to me to make me be a better steward. And I hope it has done that for you too. This has been another edition and the last segment of Friday Night Series on Journey to Stewardship. And I'm your host, the Reverend Doctor. And I'm going to sign off by saying, well done, thy good and faithful servant.